Welcome viewers to room 750, Castle Harbour, Los Cristianos. Never again will I be staying in this room. I should have known better, it could have been avoided. It might actually be okay for a couple of people, this apartment. Let me show you around. The views are amazing, that's the one thing it's got going for it, amazing views. So, we've got the balcony here, which was the best part really of the whole apartment. It's getting filmed just before 8:30 in the morning. There's the heights across there. I nearly stayed in there. We had a couple of other accommodations booked in free cancellation, and I kind of regretted not moving the booking. Down the road, just round the corner, we had the Hollywood Mirage, a 2-bedroom apartment, which I know from experience is a lot nicer than these apartments. But we do quite like the Castle Harbour complex, and the boys were here last year during the Cheltenham week. We pool view there as well. Every morning, boys were down there in the swimming club, in the pool. I never made it. Paradise Park Hotel in the distance there as well. But there is a few issues I'm going to show you in the apartment. Did kind of remind me I was back in Club 18 at 30 at times. It's not recommended for 5 guys, probably. Maybe you can get away with a couple of people. So the views are absolutely fantastic, aren't they? They've got a lot of good facilities in this apartment, I will say that. You'll see inside, the facilities are absolutely perfect, but I should have probably stuck with the Hollywood Mirage round the corner. Last year, they had the bookies in for Cheltenham and all that. They didn't have it on this year, they didn't even have the racing on yesterday, so I don't know why it's changed. Look how high up some of those apartments are up there at heights. So, it's got a kind of long-term feel about it. You could stay here long-term, get a washing machine and other facilities. Let me show you around and I'll tell you how much I paid for this. So your first impressions about it, you're thinking, Kevin, it's not that bad. I thought that as well when I first came in. The reality when you're sleeping in it is a bit different, but it's got loads of good facilities. Kettle, it's got a toaster in the cupboard as well, washing machine, coffee machine, big fridge, freezer. Absolutely perfect. This is a sofa bed. I would say this is probably the best location to sleep, noise wise and heat wise. It doesn't have aircon, so I always tell you it's a big risk not booking aircon, and I did realise that during the night. I'll show you where I was sleeping in a wee second. And an ironing board. So the facilities actually are really good in this apartment. TV here in the corner, this wee cupboard here. If you fancy a game of tennis, they've got some magazines, table tennis bats, got a wee library as well, some books. For the money actually, I can't complain. We've got a really good deal on this. I booked through booking.com. I've got Genius Level 3, which I think is the highest because I do a lot of bookings with booking.com. So the apartment itself isn't bad, but there is a few issues. Okay, number one issue. Well, in case you're wondering why I've got the famous Liverpool top on, the finest team in England obviously. I'm just going to Webby Sports Roundup channel to do a wee live with them. So that's why I've got the Liverpool top on, okay? Have you ever had a call, a chap at the door at 1:45 in the morning from security in your apartment saying there's a leak and it's gone downstairs into the apartment and we didn't know anything about it? We did just find out about it when we came in. We weren't long in, it was 1:45 in the morning. So we went out the full day, and apparently the connection to the washing machine, which we've not had on, was spraying all over the place. So some of the kitchen down the bottom was actually flooded. Now thankfully, one of the boys managed to turn the water off. Otherwise, I don't know what would have happened. We'd have had to have some sort of maintenance guy coming up here in the middle of the night. I messaged the owner, and he just said, yeah, sorry, I'll get somebody to fix it, but nobody's turned up the whole time we're here. So if you were going to use the washing machine, in theory, it was out of action. That didn't bother us, to be fair, but just one of the wee things that sometimes can happen. So that's the washing machine there. So this is definitely a long-term kind of place. It's quite comfortable during the day. We've got fans and stuff like that. The most complicated system for getting lights on I've ever seen in apartments. But I'll show you where the leak was. In there, so the leak was basically in there, spraying out everywhere. We did manage to turn it off, and who knows if it ever get fixed. Right, let me show you around. We operated a one-way system in this corridor. Only one person at a time can go up and down. So if you've got 5 people, it's a bit tricky. There's my bag, I'm literally checking out right now. That bag is so heavy. Paul, my brother's left his fleece, and I've got my fleece there. And we've still not booked accommodation for tonight. My wee hostel got cancelled. This is where I was staying last night. Now I can't get the light on because I've got a complicated remote control system for the lights that I've not been able to work out. That fan is actually quite good, but it's noisy, so it's catch-22. You put it on and the room's cool. Now, to be fair, I slept in this room last night. Me and my brother had to share this room. That's another thing I really messed up. Last year, we had a bedroom with single beds and with an ensuite with an extra bathroom. And this is Castle Harbour Home it comes under on booking.com, and it just doesn't have the same room and the same facilities as the other one, but it is pretty cheap. Anyway, that room is horrific to sleep in with 2 people. It was roasting during the night, unbelievable. I slept in it last night. It wasn't as bad for one person, to be fair. So in future, I'll need to kick my brother out. The bathroom is ridiculous. It's tiny. First, maybe you think it's not that bad, but I can assure you, this shower you can barely get in if you're any sort of size at all, and the shower head broke as well. The shower head actually fell off the top, so that's quite annoying. It won't even stay up the top, up there as well. The shower was ridiculous. You could hardly get in the shower and barely shut these shower doors, so that wasn't the best, the shower, for sure. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't stay here again for 5 guys. For 2 people, you probably would be fine, to be fair. Maybe been a bit harsh. I'll tell you how much I paid, you'll probably say, Kevin, it was a bargain. Okay, Andrew and David, this was your room here. We've got a wee divider in the middle to separate them. What an experience this was. It was like back to the Club 1830 days. 5 guys sharing an apartment like this. We've got plenty of storage space in there as well with hangers. So it has got some pros and cons, to say the least. Let me show you where it's located. It's very, very noisy as well, so if you're a light sleeper, you'll struggle to sleep in here. Some of the boys said they had no problem sleeping, to be fair. I hardly get any sleep. This is where it's located. We're up near the top. 8 floors in Castle Harbour, we're at 7. That's the Oasis Boutique across there. That's been modernised, it's quite nice, but it's very expensive, I think. This is the main road coming in and out up the top here, so it's pretty busy all the time. And if you're staying in that room, you're going to hear this noise, no doubt in it. So, some fantastic views right over Los Cristianos, absolutely amazing. And wait to tell you how much I paid for it. I booked it well in advance. We could have stayed in the Hollywood Mirage for an extra £200, which would only have been £40 a head per person. And because we stayed here last year, we quite liked the complex, we just said, nah, we'll just stay in Castle Harbour. But it was my fault, I didn't double check. I didn't realise it didn't, only 1 bathroom, and it was double beds, there was no single beds. So yeah, that was a bit of a mistake, to say the least. But the views, fantastic, aren't they? Absolutely fantastic. You need to pay for your sunbeds at Castle Harbour, I don't know if you know that. I think it's about €2. There's a few other places that do it. My brother's just moved down to Paloma Beach, and he's got a fantastic balcony with a sea view overlooking everywhere, so couldn't really complain about this view, but it was not that comfortable a stay, excuse me. Okay, how much did I pay? I think it worked out about €365, I think roughly about £305, £310, depending on the exchange rate. So it worked out about £60–65 per person for 5 of us. So in theory, for 4 nights here, some of the boys only stayed 3 nights, but it was under £20 a night per head. Really, really cheap for Cheltenham week. Unbelievable value, but it was an experience. Never again. I won't book here again for 5 people. But if you're here, maybe with 2 or 3 people, you could get away with it. But there's definitely some things that need to improve in here. You can't really improve the size of the shower and stuff like that. That's just not going to happen. But it is what it is. I'm staying at the Beverly Hills, just down the road. And the next 2 nights after tonight, but I've not booked anywhere yet, is £95 per night, which is really expensive for the Beverly Hills, which I've stayed in for £50 a night. But it is what it is. So you can see we did get a really good deal on this, booking it well in advance. But I kind of messed it up. I should have checked the rooms. I should have stayed to the boys. Let's pay the extra money and go to Hollywood Mirage. That's what we should have done, but we didn't. You live and learn, don't you? Next year we might end up back in Castle Harbour. We quite like the complex, but we won't be in this room. We'll be in a different room hopefully, or we'll be down in Hollywood Mirage or somewhere else. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a trip back to memory lane, Club 1830 for sure, and hit the subscribe button for the new channel, and we'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye from amazing views at Castle Harbour.